Thank you guys for being here. Good morning and welcome to the Energy, Climate, Grid Security Subcommittee hearing titled American Nuclear Energy Expansion, Spent Fuel Policy and Innovation. This Congress, the Energy and Commerce Committee, has taken a bipartisan approach to the advance and expanding nuclear energy here in the United States. I'm pleased we are holding this hearing to examine a critical piece of our nuclear energy industry here in the United States, and that's spent fuel. It's important for the subcommittee to examine the state of our spent fuel policy, given its role over nuclear regulatory policy and energy policy more broadly. Over 40 years ago, Congress formally established a comprehensive nuclear waste management strategy. In 1982, Congress passed the Nuclear Waste Policy Act, which created a federal government responsibility to dispose of all high-level radioactive waste and started a process for selecting sites. In 1987, after the Department of Energy conducted extensive studies of 9 potential repository sites, Congress amended the Nuclear Policy Act to focus on Yucca Mountain in Nye County, Nevada, as a site for permanent geologic repository. Unfortunately, the political objections of one state, not based on scientific reality, blocked the repository from being relicensed, or being licensed rather, and constructed following its formal selection in 2002. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission staff found that Yucca Mountain Permanent Repository could safely store waste for over 1 million years. The Energy and Commerce Committee has remained committed to upholding the law, and in 2018, the House passed the Nuclear Waste Policy Amendments Act by an overwhelming bipartisan vote of 340 to 72. If this bill had become law, it would have incentivized the completion of the licensing of Yucca Mountain, enhanced host state benefits, and accelerated consolidated interim storage, a benefit to both ratepayers and taxpayers. Unfortunately, politics obstructed this bill, and we remain in the current standstill. Ratepayers across the country have paid nearly $50 billion into the Nuclear Waste Fund to establish a permanent repository. Now these ratepayers, folks who benefited from nuclear energy, paid fees, which were baked into the utility bill for the construction of a permanent repository. With interest, ratepayers in my home state of South Carolina had contributed over $3 billion to the Nuclear Waste Fund. This is the third most of any state in the nation. Additionally, as a result of the government's failure to follow the law, American taxpayers are on the hook for up to $800 million annually out of the judgment fund. This breaks down to about $2 million per day. In addition to commercial waste, many DOE sites across the country like Savannah Riverside or Hanford store legacy or defense waste intended for permanent repository. Now I'd like to emphasize that spent nuclear fuel is stored safely on sites, but the federal government must fulfill its legal responsibility and reduce the cost burden to the taxpayer and the ratepayers. Spent nuclear fuel in the United States also provides an opportunity to be an asset as we deploy advanced nuclear technologies. The technological landscape has shifted since the 1980s, and companies like Oklo and Curio and Shine are aggressively pursuing reprocessing and recycling technologies for spent fuel. Spent fuel recycling, especially to support advanced fuels, provides exciting promise for the future of nuclear energy in the United States, especially for the advanced reactors that we hear about. Our policy should reflect innovations and advancements as part of an integrated fuel system that includes a permanent repository. It may seem we're at a standstill, but we should look at this as a moment of opportunity for the United States of America. The U.S. has always led the world in nuclear energy advancements. The Manhattan Project harnessed the energy of the nucleus atom, and the Atomic Energy Act of 1954 ushered in the age of the peaceful use of the atom, demonstrating American leadership around the world and the amazing benefits of nuclear power. We're on the precipice of the next frontier of nuclear energy here in the United States. Recently, the House overwhelmingly passed the Atomic Energy Advancement Act that Ranking Member DeGette and I put together to advance durable bipartisan policy that will expand nuclear energy. Responsible and effective spent fuel management is a critical part of the equation. It can help foster nuclear expansion here in the United States. I look forward to hearing from our witnesses today on the opportunities and challenges associated with spent nuclear fuel management in the context of nuclear energy expansion. I'll take my last 10 seconds. I've been to Yucca Mountain. I've stood on top of that mountain. I thought, if we can't put the nuclear waste of the nation here, we're not going to be able to put it anywhere. The repository was chosen for a reason. I've also been to Hanford, I've been to Savannah River site, understand the EM process going on there, the high-level legacy waste that's coming out of the tank farms, been vitrified or being vitrified and needs to be stored somewhere. That's waste that I don't think can be reprocessed as spent fuel. So we have legacy waste that needs to be stored. We have spent fuel that's an asset for the nation that can be reprocessed and used as a fuel. So I look forward to today's hearing from all of our witnesses. I'll now recognize